normally pretty good.
When there's Braum open.
Knowing AShe is the AD carry and that Zhuo very well could lock in Braum just to go 1-for-1, have a very strong 2v2
That's
in the
what's
early
a top side, right?
Yeah, it does mean that Kanavi could struggle to find some prior lanes on the bottom side. We'll see exactly where NIP go in this rotation. It's Brand at the very least, so securing an AP jungler early on, but now it's about that choice, right? Do we want the counter pick support? Do we want to match mid lane? And it's going to be support. They're going to go towards the REll, so more catered towards, you know, aggressive engages, setting up for some of those big one-go combos with things like the Brand already there.
We'll be keeping our eyes on Leyan, on how he does on this Brand as well. You can see the Zyra was banned away in playoffs. Every single game and won against JDG was on that Zyra, so we've got to keep our eyes on him.
Now, I'm not surprised that Ruler actually locked in something like the Jhin right here. He has been more of a facilitating factor for JDG as of lately, rather than the super aggressive kind of Lucian player that we saw him be over in spring when JDG were doing so freaking well. Now, for JDG, again, mentioning Kanavi right here, his Lilia has to be banned out, one of the third AP jungle that remains in the pool. However, in their previous playoff series, he didn't even bring out things like the Viego, and he did so well on it.
Yeah, he's also willing to go down as far as things like the Carthus. He's done it a good handful of times.
Please not the
Carthus. Even post, you know, we kind of went past 14-11 and 14-12, and like Carthus kind of fell to the wayside in comparison to things like the Lilia and the Zyra. Still happy to do it, so we'll keep our eyes on that. And whether or not NIP take that in mind with this ban, or whether or not they're feeling comfortable enough to just, again, remove away maybe an early game facilitator like Lee Sin, like Viego. As timer ticks, a couple more seconds, we'll see. It's going to be Kennen towards Flandre, so maybe, you know, again, safe top side that Shanji doesn't want to get bullied out on. That could be the signal for that ban.
Just sort of the Kennen ban as well does lean towards maybe they could go with something AD in the jungle, but with the Maokai hover, perhaps not. Might just be that AP for Kanavi and more of a utility tool. Now that's more of a Kanavi pick. I remember him being one of the first players to play Belveth on the stage. It's not going to happen today.
Trouble was so excited for that Belveth.
A little bit of disappointment because we built it up to be the Kanavi show, right? And sure, you can still go Leanders and do some damage with the Maokai.
Get you a jungler that can do both.
Can do both, absolutely.
Do both.
Now this is a pick for Rookie in the mid lane. One of the fastest stacking, I think, for the entire world here this year. As she switches over to the Zeri, you know, I shouldn't be talking about hovers. Take it away, guys.
Yep, Shanji, Nasus, very happy. I mean, I feel like Kennen is one of the few-ish champions that I'm not going to say fully can bully out this, you know, 3-point-E Nasus tech, but it can do okay. Mordekaiser, however, on the other hand, probably does pretty fine. You can kind of sustain through a fair amount of the poke with your W.
It's kind of weird, really, because the blind Kennen was sort of the way we saw this Nasus come in. Garn comes in.
So LCK have that in the mid lane. We've got it over in the top lane, and we've got actual world champ playing the Garn as well. So
Blind Trace is like, look guys, I've not played in a while. I don't need something mechanically intensive. I'll go back to the basics. Garn top against Nasus. It's season 1.
Yeah, some very old champions in the top side.
I heard Chovy was spamming it in there.
Yeah, yo guys, I saw Chovy playing it. I think it's good. Look, very interesting top side matchup. We'll definitely break it down once we get into game, but I think if we kind of zoom out holistically for JDG, still very much, you know, kind of a slow, off the marks team composition, right? Maokai in the jungle doesn't really necessarily have lanes he can aggressively play around. Corki's going to take some time to scale up. Curtain Call is obviously a setup tool through the bottom side. So there's options, don't get me wrong, but I feel like if I'm looking at these two compositions side by side, NIP in the earliest of stages are probably going to have a little bit more priority, a little bit more ease of execution around some of these early objectives.
I feel like this is how the Jhin makes a lot more sense from the side of JDG as well, especially when you've got Garn, Maokai, Leona going all in. You can set up from super far away, lots of distance. Keeping your distance from a Nasus is a very good thing as well, especially when you're an AD carry that cannot chip away that HP bar, those armor items that the Nasus will be having on him as you're very slow at that.
Well, back in spring, these two teams went to a 5-game series and JDG took it. Then in summer playoffs just a couple of weeks ago, NIP managed to do the same. They took a 5-game series over JDG. The bell is ringing. It is time for round 3 to decide who can survive and fight their way towards Worlds.
I have to say, friendos, compared to the first day in this venue, the Gyos have finally gotten a little bit more in sync.
Yeah. Yeah, day one, the Gyos were struggling a little bit. They've been getting progressively better.
Day 3, this is definitely the strongest day.
They're practiced now.
They are practiced.
Yeah, it's. I love hearing the drums ringing through this stadium, but I'm sure we'll get even more noise once the action kicks off, and a little bit of shenanigans at level 1, nothing too important. And look at this, we're missing. Going to respect the potential presence, go all the way around.
Again, the ward on the top side brush on that Kennen versus Nasus matchup, again ensuring that no matter which brush you hide in, you will always be able to trade through. I feel like this right here with Ruler and Missing is more in terms of potentially lane swapping that NIP brought over in spring, hiding behind any vision that could potentially be put behind the jungle.
They're swapping.
Okay, very interesting. So my read on the Garn Nasus matchup is that, frankly, Nasus doesn't actually care. But it seems like NIP are much more happy to put Rookie up here into the top side, give him a much freer time farming into the Garrett.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Is that 3,451 days?
Dude, this graphic just reminded
me. It's almost a decade since we saw a top lane Garrett in the LPL. That's insane.
Thank you, Amazing Jay.
I was about to say, this graphic just reminded me of Amazing Jay. Oh my god. Well, yeah, it seems NIP much happier to run Nasus through the mid lane here and, you know, try and poke out Corki. And I kind of get it, right? Zeri, I'm not going to say can struggle into Corki, but Corki, such a strong early laning phase since the rework that they're just trying to utilize the poke over the Nasus and try and gain some priority down there potentially.
Now, if you look over on the blue side, where NIP, Leyan has started from the bot side of the map. So that was a pre-decided swap for Rookie to get towards the top side of the map. If you manage to punish that Garen early on, get potentially a kill over on Rookie on that Zeri, you get to accelerate the Zeri and push Garen further behind.
Guys, I have something to say. It's not particularly relevant, but
we love irrelevant things.
If you remember, our friend Adam from Europe, famous for the Garen. At Worlds, the question was it gods or was it dogs? Well, today he's literally up against the dog in the top lane. It was destiny. The Garen had to be picked. I mean, Flandre.
Dogs versus gods.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally the gods versus the dogs today. Flandre coming in, he's the substitute that I don't think many people were expecting to be playing in playoffs. I don't think many people expected him to play today, but here he is. He brings out Garen game number 1, and then he gets lane swapped on by Rookie. Who knows how this was going to continue, but he ends up in the top side, going for that crab, and it will be... I mean, Kanavi's in the top side as well, but no chance of contesting.
I mean, like, when it comes to Flandre, obviously, walking back into the roster, Sheer has had incredible performance. He could play more aggressively. The team could also seem to want to play towards the top side of the map. However, ever since Flandre walked back in, we've seen Jace, we've seen Zach, now we've seen the Garen, and I think this is so fitting, playing up against the guy that's brought so many wacky picks into the LPL. Shanji brought in the Kennen, he brought in the Nasus, he brought in the Rise into the Kennen as well. He's brought in so many different flavors, and I feel like the matchup in the top lane is just so fitting.
We'll see how it continues. We've been talking about this jungle matchup. One thing that Photic's AShe will do is completely ruin jungle pathing. Kanavi, though, doesn't get caught by that hook shot as he moves down to the bottom side. Missing wants to protect the Scuttle Crab, but takes a whole bunch of flames to the face. And Photic happy to finish the job. Zhuo grabs first blood.
Nice pick. Honestly, it's just a face check. Missing and Ruler had a little bit of a window to try and put down some vision, and Leon just hits all of his skills. Nothing much more to say. Zhuo's follow-up is excellent.
I mean, Bran was so much faster clearing towards the top side of the map as Kanavi flash mid.
Answer in the mid lane. Shanji the target. Doesn't have flash. He's got Ghost instead. Yagao will happily punish.
I mean, to be fair, played glass half full here for a second. Shanji, Ghost, 2 flashes. We'll see how it pans out. I feel like you're still kind of okay with that there.
I'll Una reverse you. Corki kill.
Corki did get the kill, though. So, of course, Corki's a bit of a monster. I can't remember what the stat was exactly on day 1. I want to say it was like 20 and 8 to Corki. It's probably changed.
At some point, it was a 16 and 0 through the playoffs. It was
something
crazy.
so silly. So Yagao off to a very good start. And on a very potent champion.
On a very potent champion, but also a player that has been criticized a lot this year. He's one of those players that, you know, playoffs Yagao versus regular Yagao is often a very different beast.
Yeah.
Didn't really see a big playoffs Yagao performance this summer. He's a player that's had ups and downs throughout his career, a very storied career, an LPL champion, but often questions levied towards him on whether or not he can step up when it matters the most. So far, he's being set up by his jungler.
This guy is known for his clutch factor as well. When it's in the brick of a team fight, Yagao will fly in to save the day. And right here, he has been set up for success through the early game. Kanavi pathing towards him now, both flashless, looking to potentially contest those void grabs.
First smite goes down, second one burns.
Kanavi smited the first one and lost it.
Yeah. Leon actually kind of just Giga Chatted Kanavi on the 50-50. Maokai Q is not easy to steal against either, so happy to just take the 2-for-1 trade. And yeah, it seems like JDG will just get that last one for free.
2-for-0 currently. Okay, yeah, Kanavi's gone back to it. I wasn't sure if they would be willing to commit. I apologize. I interrupted you just to say absolutely nothing.
It's fine. It's okay.
He took the leftovers.
Yeah, he took the leftovers. Keep on panning up here, but I promise nothing should happen. Rookie should,
I will say,
almost wholly stay safe.
It is a level 6 Garn. Yeah. There is some level of fear there. Even Zeri has to fear a level 6 Garn because you can't slide it over the wall if you're silenced.
That's true. I mean, part of the reason why they would have actually also swapped is there is one very funny interaction, of course, that Garn shrugs off all slows when he presses his Q bar for the... I can't remember what it's called. I was going to say Decisive Strike, but I don't think it's called that. So, as you can imagine, he can actually shrug off the Wither. That's part of the reason why they swapped out.
It's his job to know the names, you know?
True. It is your job to know the names, Joseph. But yeah. As long as Rookie doesn't press his W key first, he can always kite out with a dash as well, so there's not really much a threat up here. But Kanavi showing his face, trying to see if he can find an angle, and an angle won't be found for now.
Now, if people have just tuned into the LPL and they're looking at these two teams and they're like, we're 7 minutes in, why is there only 2 kills? JDG is one of the slowest teams in the LPL, especially this season. However, NIP usually tend to blunder the early games and they tend to fall behind, and this is why NIP have been struggling the entire season, especially versus teams that are so good in their early game. However, JDG take a more chill approach into that early game, and they do have a bunch of scaling plus team fighting ease for that later stages.
Yeah, it does tend to feel like if NIP don't have a solid game plan, they do fall behind. Now this dragon's going down. There's no smite on Leyan, but I think he's going to get it, but JDG want to let go without fight.
They want to go for the fight. It's an engage from Missing. Great follow-up. Is the damage there, though? 1. And now the curtain call opens. Shanji trying to escape on the top side. As Zhuo pinned down, and the shield just about saves his life. Shanji trying to respond, and Kanavi just punts the dog away before he gets hit.
Great contest from JDG. They don't get the objective, but they get another kill onto Yagao here, and an additional kill on top of that. So JDG uptick on the gold, lose out on that dragon, but again, I feel like JDG are very happy getting another kill on this Corki.
They're always just a little bit late, though, to both of the objectives. Quite late at the Void Grubs, quite late at the Dragon. You mentioned there was not even a smite over in Leyan. They could have very easily been a steal. JDG, I like it to even get away with this face check. Luckily for them, Maokai can very easily face check with the plants as well. And that Maokai ultimate was beautiful. NIP, that structure right there, 3 of them got wrapped up on those roots from the Maokai. 3 of them sees it away. Zhuo lucky to even get away with his life on the last shot from the Jhin right here. They take 2, and most importantly, those 2 kills went on to the Corki and the Jhin, their core 2 carries.
I'm just going to say, Ruler nearly got the kill on Zhuo. He also nearly got the Drake. He threw his dancing grenade. The Drake was on like 100 HP or something. Yeah, like that was real close for Leyan. Both neutral objectives so far. Real dicey on the smites. We can do with both of our junglers reining that in a little bit. But let's kind of take stock where we are.
Wait until the Baron spawns.
Well, yeah. That's what I'm worried about. But so far, it's 1,000 gold in the pocket of Yagao. That's the most significant lead. Rookie, 500 gold for himself up top, but he's not really been a part of the action. And Yagao, the player we asked to step up, Kanavi stepped into a utility role, usually the carry for the team. It's Yagao stepping up today.
Aha, you'd think so. He's going straight for that Leandra. He's like, listen, guys, if I'm gonna play the Maokai, I might as well do some damage.
He's the only magic damage on the team.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because it's Kanavi's first game of Maokai all summer, and he's like, listen, I've seen all of these guys.
Trust guys, this is how it's played.
I've seen them going towards Locket recently, and Abyssal Mask and all that. No. I'm still the carry, okay?
Carry at heart.
It's never going to change. Now, grabs are spawning in 10 seconds, and JDG are trying to send more members mid at this moment in time. Joe's a little bit late, but it is JDG that technically have the setup. And also, Missing has level 6, Joe doesn't, so that's a crucial difference maker. Maybe Zhuo hits it if he can soak up some of that XP on the mid lane wave or the ward. Yeah, he does. So still a little bit even for now.
Very importantly, Yagao doesn't have his teleport up and available. So if the fight breaks out in the next few seconds, he will not be able to join JDG.
Keeping our eyes on Photic here. That enchanted crystal arrow, such an important tool. Kanavi gets in, steals one. That's at least 2 for JDG, and now the roots come through. Kanavi looking for another grub while the fight is already going, missing into the mix and trying to get back out again. 1 kill over to NIP, and now trying to retreat, but Flandre chases them down with a bit of Demacian justice. JDG looking for more as Shanji right in the mix, but he's got some damage, and it's Yagao to be shut down. Rookie grabbing 1 kill, Flandre falls for a second, and suddenly everything sideways for JDG.
JDG overextend and they run out of damage. Yagao overreaches to grab some more kills, finds himself between a god and a dog. The dog ends up taking him down. And now REll is trying to salvage Leyan.
Oh, can he dodge? Can he dodge? Yes, he can.
All right, saving that 3rd grub. JDG might get that 4th one off that. Honestly, Leyan is so low, I'm not sure if he can walk back in, and it could give Kanavi the time to go and take that one up before that Herald spawns up in 2 minutes. So another nice little big win because REll didn't have to cast the ultimate during that fight.
I mean, poor man didn't even have the time.
No,
there were so many things going on.
He did not.
There was a Nasus in the backline. Now, Yagao finds himself towards the top side. He's going to crash that wave, which means it will relieve a bit of that pressure for JDG.
Yeah, now, NIP, they're on top of these grubs. I want to just kind of point out, Leyan smites the wrong grub. So even after the fact, they don't quite have the ability to get the next one. But you see on this bottom side here, Missing goes in. He's just a little bit too deep, and Leyan's flash brings Kanavi so far in that he has to flash back out. Flandre's flash is actually good, but it's interrupted by the crash down of Zhuo. Flandre, regardless, still gets his damage off on Photic because that's just what Garn does, and Yagao overchases.
Photic flashed onto the Garn. Like,
I didn't want to point it out.
I know it's a while since Garn's been meta Photic, but come on, man. That's not the guy you want to be
guy that shows no fear.
Yeah, but the crucial thing, you know, coming back out of this replay is Yagao was starting to stack up kills, right? Picked up 2 kills before this exchange. Rookie picked up 2 in return, finally there. So kind of, I imagine, getting a little bit closer to evening out the gold. We've swapped the scoreboard, so we're actually gold comparing, I imagine, Rookie to Flandre at this point off of the in-game stats. So for now, very, very powerful at that Bork spike.
And in terms of where the gold lies, we're kind of just even in the mid lane and even in the top lane. Like, there's a 1,000 gold difference. There we go, the Observers
and
on
now,
the exact same page.
Dude, I love the LPL Observers, man. Like, it just, some things in League of Legends, it just transcends language, right? And yeah, now we know Rookie is actually just, it's basically even. It's 100 gold between the 2 mids.
Very importantly, though, REll does have his first item, Static Shiv, already completed. Walking into this dragon, you want to have completed items, and Photic is just sitting on components.
Shanji moving down. This will be an outnumber in favor of NIP for now, as Flandre has just got the memo, but he might be late to the party. Zhuo dives in and sets up for one. Nice, easy pick for NIP, but it's responded to. And JDG might have bitten off more than they could chew. The Pyro with the blast cone! Betrayal from REll, who barely walks away with his life. No! The burn lasts forever!
You did this for what? You did this for what? Almost killing Missing right there. REll doesn't end up getting away either. NIP with their foot fast in the river. You saw Flandre had to run all the way from the tops of the map. And these are the things that we have been questioning about JDG. You do not have setup on these objectives. All 4 objectives that we've seen on our screens right now, JDG have not had setup for, yet they walk into them. If Kanavi goes down, your primary engage is gone.
Yeah, but also it's just great decisiveness from NIP, right? Kanavi steps a foot wrong, and Photic just arrows him. Immediate response from Zhuo. Ultimate crash down is great, and even though he gives his life, it's jungler for support. You're happy to do that on a dragon, spawn up, and everything just goes wrong for JDG. The second bounce happens to hit REll, blast cone as well, and then it's just about the Leandri's burn. He does actually have a pot running, but it's not quite enough, and Leyan does claim that final kill.
Leandri's scored more burns.
Yeah. I mean, the brand burn had dropped off at that point, but just the last couple of ticks of Leandri's, that must have been within 10 HP. Of running out. NIP though, great decisive play. And you know, we talked about the fact that it's been a couple of weeks since these guys have played. They've had time to revisit the drawing board, and perhaps the reports of Leyan only being able to play Zyra were slightly exaggerated.
Brand doesn't fall far from the tree of the Zyra. Kind of like the same champion in terms of how it's played. Now JDG here.
Pressing the Arky is an extremely skilled ability, okay?
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Now JDG, again, trying to walk into this river with no priority lane, setting up for those objectives. It has been very difficult. Kanavi caught again.
Kanavi not getting the memo on these arrows. Nice Q, though. Stops Zhuo following up. Pyroclasm doesn't achieve what it needs to.
Fantastic Bramble Smash. That might have just saved JDG the opportunity to maybe contest Herald. I mean, Kanavi's so low, and there's no Raptor camp there for him to lifesteal off of either, so this could just be a free objective over to NIP. Again, Photic, very decisive, just sees a target, stepping up too far forward and pulls the trigger on the Ashe. That's exactly what you want to see from this pick.
I think JDG are going to ban the Ashe after this game.
Yeah.
I don't think that they are prepared for dealing with this Crystal Arrow. It keeps on hitting from Photic, it keeps hitting Kanavi as well. And it keeps on setting up for NIP.
I think, crucially, if they're on the blue side as well. But hey, face check here. Goodbye, Zhuo.
Justice! Landre's having none of it. It's the old rules of League of Legends here. You cannot face check the Nasus. Now TP in the bot side. Shanji is just bopping Ruler, but kited away from. And it's Yagao grabbing another. Rookie dives in. I don't know if that's a fight he wins. Yagao decides it's not one he wants either.
They had to bring down a fourth member just to make sure the Ruler didn't die. How scary is Nasus in moments like that?
Oh, was Flandre greedy for an assist?
Oh, who knows?
Now, the most important part of this is that you did sacrifice your support if you're NIP Zhuo over on the top side of the map, but that was simply to cover Rookie to take an entire tower. He's gotten so many tower platings in his pocket. He's got the tower over on the top side of the map. TP straight down bot lane grabs a huge wave that JDG have pushed underneath the tower. This Zeri, 2, 0, and 3, 700 gold up, second item completed, is definitely set up for success. And for NIP, they rely on Rookie to carry them through the rest of the team fights.
Yeah, now let's see how this starts. I mean, it's all because they know what's happening on the top side, so they want a cross map of sorts. But the issue is that Shanji withers Yagao, so Yagao can't auto-attack him to get off as much damage as he can, and then just feels like he can run down the Ruler with the Ghost. And frankly, I think he might have had it
if there's not a Leona there.
Yeah, like,
I think it works.
Very scary.
Herald in the bot side now as Rookie continues to receive gold. Look at the combo! I mean, Kanavi just consistently caught out here and now missing. Slowed up, you cannot escape the Ashe. And Rookie bringing plenty of damage on this Zeri. It's a really nice start for NIP here.
Yeah, I mean, again, Photic, third one now, back to back to back. All on Kanavi. Herald's down here as well. There's going to be tier 2 on the bottom side. 18 minutes into the game, if they want it. Or not. No, it's fine. I mean, who cares about 700 gold, really? It's chump change.
I mean, let's be honest. Photic can shoot his arrow on whoever he pleases. No one at this point is tanky enough on JDG to tank the arrow with the follow-up CC that comes through from REll, with all the damaging abilities coming through from NIP. 1.5 items on Ashe, 2 items onto Rookie on that Zeri, and Brand with Leander's plus now. A second item completed that's going to be slowing you down as well. These guys have so much damage, and there's not enough tankiness for JDG to soak it up.
Yeah, and again, I mean, it's just working with vision, right? They see Kanavi on the first wall.
Kanavi
they see
sees him too!
They see him on the Gromp. They see him, and then, you know, arrow still connects, right? Fantastic chain CC, and again, it's just very difficult for JDG to actually answer out in any kind of manner when you're not in the position to, but also you just frankly don't have the damage to.
Also, the kind of sad thing is, that's a Maokai. Twisted Advance is an ability.
Yeah.
The Gromp is right there. Maybe needed to save that for the arrow. This time, arrow goes wide. Rookie's on the flank though, so is Shanji. JDG try and commit to the 5v3 on the other side. Missing goes down, but it's traded 1-for-1. Now Rookie arrives. Ruler over the wall as Photic is just DPSing Flandre. The curtain call flies on through, but he can only get 2 shots. Yagao's being chased. They're all being chased. JDG have nowhere to run, but Photic falls. Yagao turns it. Rookie arrives. He's the better mid laner after all.
NIP's saving grace throughout this entire year has been Rookie. Rookie carries this team fight. He gets a fantastic flank together with Shanji, and JDG were running around like chickens without heads.
Rookie might find another.
Rookie wants more, but you should know by now that missing has already spawned, so you cannot overextend. It's not going to be the case, though.
I'm going to be honest, I favor Rookie in that 2v1.
Yes.
Hey, there's an Ignite on Leona.
I will say, like, this game so far, basically the two positive plays for JDG were when Photic got in melee range of a Garn and when Zhuo face-checked a Garn. That's been the two positives for JDG. The rest of the game's pretty much all been for NIP.
And you can even argue some of those NIP plays where they kind of did grief into the Garn. There was a little bit of blowback for that. And I mean, I can commend JDG here for the decisiveness of the arrows missed. We've got the objective. Let's go into the 3. We know where Rookie and Shanji both are, and then the fight ensues.
However, JDG is a very front-to-back based composition. If you split that front-to-back, if you leave your Jhin in the back, Yagao had to dive through the back of the wall to try and get to the AD carries. Ruler is left all alone. Then all the tanks are overreaching forward. You're just breaking formation, and NIP are just shooting them down.
Yeah, the problem is, in my opinion, for JDG, they kind of enjoy the idea of being the ones to start the fight, but also kind of being stationary in some aspects, right? And when you know that you're about to be flanked, for Ruler, it's so awkward to actually play out a fight like that. Yeah. It doesn't actually enable you to kind of fulfill your role, right? You're just basically supposed to press your R key and hit the first person that's not a tank. And he's kind of denied that in this opportunity. Another arrow does go wide this time.
This one's going wide is an issue. JDG on the front line. Leyan might go down, though. It's kill onto the brand. Can it turn into more? Shanji trying to chase. Missing escaped. Flandre escaped. Kanavi might not be so lucky, but the curtain call flies on through. Zhuo ain't tanky. Rookie ain't tanky. And a shot finds its mark. Rookie assassinated by Ruler.
A shot from Wanted out of Ruler. Bends it completely around Zhuo, and Zhuo goes down anyway. That's got to feel real bad for Rookie, and NIP take a fight that they weren't expecting to have this outcome of.
This could be game-breaking right here for JDG. Not only do they shut him down, they get that gold onto Ruler's Jhin, and most importantly, they take that mid lane tower, which is now going to open up so many opportunities. You've got Leona, you've got Garn hiding through Fog of War, Maokai engages. This is going to be so pivotal. If NIP's carries overextend, JDG could get so many opportunities to engage.
Yeah, and again, you know, an attempted arrow onto Kanavi, they've been doing it all game. This time, doesn't find this mark. Missing goes in, Kanavi goes in, and again, it feels like JDG are actually allowed to play some form of front to back that they've been denied throughout a lot of this game, right? Through Yagao and through Ruler. Kanavi understands that he's very likely to go down, puts his body on the line. Rookie's eating these curtain call shots. Misses the third one, Ruler, but Zhuo, he's attempting to dodge it. He's genuinely trying to get in the way for Rookie, but he just can't do it in time, and it connects.
That was a perfect shot, though, right on the corner of the hitbox. Like, you can't ask for more than that from Ruler. Phenomenal. An arrow, though, equally potent as Yagao is caught, and there's the combo from Zhuo. And another 400 gold into Rookie's pocket.
How much can NIP get from that, though? Yagao's down. They're all on the top side. Shanji's got teleport. I'd imagine a Baron Staff isn't too unrealistic if they want it. Try and draw out some spells from JDG. Teleport maybe even from Flandre.
I feel like this is so important right here. It's Yagao versus Rookie. Yagao being down, you're missing majority of your damage. You only have Jhin. They're pulling TPs. They want to contest.
Ruler's got to do the damage. Shanji's flanking though, missing. Not long for the world, I fear, but Flandre is cutting through this dog, and Shanji has to flee instead. 4v5, JDG surviving, but Rookie wants to change that fact. Kanavi flashes away.
How are they out?
They've got out somehow.
So fortunate. The Rylai's was doing so much work. I expected that to be enough for the chase down for NIP to come through, but again, just managed to right-click away, and NIP, at the very least, get teleport a few flashes, but that's it.
Now, resets coming through from NIP. They're going to be late to start getting some vision control over that dragon area. It's going to be so point if they can secure the next dragon. And they only need one spell for all of those fights. It's the Crystal Arrow onto Photic. It just came off of cooldown. Don't need anything else. If it hits a target, NIP have it locked down.
Ruler, no cleanse available either, so keep your eyes on that Jhin. We're trading a Drake for a Baron right now. JDG, they will finish that Drake pretty quick. Can they get up here in time to stop the Baron? Kanavi's on the scene here. The arrow hits, missing, will be sacrificed. His life is forfeit, but maybe Shanji's will be too. Justice was available, but it's not dispensed just yet.
It's the classic sacrifice you gotta make. You throw in your support to try and delay the inevitable. NIP don't manage to bait JDG to fight them on that Baron, so Good news for JDG fans right here. You managed to secure your second dragon, stop the stacking from NIP, but Rookie still strong on the top side of the map, taking yet another tower.
Rookie will take this tier 2, but how good are JDG at surviving these 4v5s? That's like 2 or 3 in a row we've seen where they do manage to get out. I may have just jinxed that as Kanavi takes a bit of damage. Zhuo on the front line will be rooted, but manages to buffer it. Flandre out of trouble, and Rookie arrives once again. He's done it time and time again, but this time is punished by missing. The damage comes on through though, and he survives. Missing finds the root, and now the curtain call as well. Again, it's happening again. Fourth shot comes on in, and in the meantime, Shanji's gone under the tower. It's abject chaos on the map.
I mean, I gotta commend Shanji. Every single time those fights happen, he's trying to split apart JDG. He knows that if REll gets to stand still and put down the damage, it's going to be bad news. As REll dodges the arrow right here, Shanji has been doing his job flawlessly every single time in trying to split them up. I think you jinxed them right there a little bit, man, so I'm not gonna lie to you.
I thought they were posturing for Baron there, but they are actually trying to bait REll into walking towards the Baron to catch him out. Very cheeky from an IP on the back end of this sequence, but a fantastic fight from them, and Leyan is just putting in so much work, just existing as brand. There's actually not too much more to say about it than that. JDG walk in, they're just eating all of the spells, and they're set up for a beautiful flank from Rookie.
I'm going to be honest, at the start of this game, I thought this was going to be pretty one-sided to NIP. It's turned into a bit of a banger.
And it starts with this, right? Yagao gets hit all the way from mid lane. The further the arrow travels, the more stunned you stay. We're getting the pretty good shot right here from Photic, all the way from downtown mid lane.
It's a great arrow. It feels like ages ago that this happened.
Leaves enough time for Zhuo to actually engage onto the Corki as well. And primarily, he's the Corki that's putting down the damage. Corki's not in the picture. He is right here. That's a pretty little while later. And this starts looking pretty good for JDG until Yagao jumps backwards to Kanavi with Brand ultimate bouncing onto him and the flank coming through from Rookie.
Yeah, and then this is almost the overstep from NIP, right? I mean, honestly, the CC, the damage, it's great. This setup here is where it starts to get a bit sketchy because REll finally can press his curtain call in a position where he's going to be uninterrupted, finds 2 kills off the Omen.
He's just ghosting through!
Shanji on the bottom side, just going through, running at him.
Target acquired.
He's got the right skin for it as well as the Battlecast robot.
Yeah, just charges on in. I gotta say, Ruler and Missing in these fights, they've been working well together. Missing just putting his body on the line to make sure Ruler can find his mark. REll definitely has that clutch factor. Jhin's not the champion you expect to be the clutch AD carry. Oh, these calls have been huge so far.
Map is just black for JDG.
Yeah,
they just
so
need
scary.
to find some pressure on the sides. Bot lane pushing, top lane pushing. Kanavi has to use his ult just for them to pretty much bail themselves out.
They will survive for now. I wasn't sure if that was going to turn into a full-on fight there. That was arrow used, that was roots used, that was solar flare used as well.
JDG, you've got TPs. Push the goddamn side lanes out. You need them for vision. It has been eating them alive the entire game. They don't have side lane pressure, therefore they can't even walk into their jungle to establish even the slightest vision control for them. And it's resulted in so many lost fights like we literally just saw on that replay.
Well, for the time being, your wish is their command. They do push out some of the side lanes.
I will apply for the coaching stuff next
It's not even going to be used for that though, right? It's just resets for the time being. So yeah, again, the map state kind of does remain the same.
One thing I will say is NIP, this whole composition is so good at punishing you in a side lane. AShe arrow is obviously fantastic, but also Rookie being on the Zeri. One of the big things we've seen from Zeri mid is the ability to slide over into one of those side lanes and punish. JDG very afraid of that fact, but Drake is coming up in 40 seconds time. It's the 3rd Infernal Drake to spawn. JDG have got the last 2, and that's a hell of a stack to grab, especially with a Jhin.
Again, no vision control whatsoever in the bot quarter. Drop even takes the blast cone in their face. It's like, we're in here, by the way, but we're all set up. Perfect highlight right here from our observers. No vision whatsoever. 1 wound at the very bottom tri-bush towards that bot lane for JDG. Let's see, potentially Flandre could find a flank TP.
I mean, I feel like it's wishful thinking. Arrow goes wide, doesn't connect on Kanavi, so could be a big deal.
Kanavi's conditioned Photic to go for the easy shots. And now time for an engage from JDG. Missing starts it. Zhuo taken down, but Missing will respond with his own life here. Photic, no, Missing still surviving as Kanavi goes down. REll now trying to escape, but Shanji's so down first. Look at him go. Targets acquired. Q hit. Shanji, though, just about surviving as Rookie looks to finish the job. Curtain call comes on through, but it won't find its mark. This time around, it won't find a kill. 3v4 still on the map. Full shot available. Leyan executed just after the Drake. And now Photic in a 1v1, but REll takes those every day of the week.
Oh my god, the fleet auto at the end as well. He might have burned down to the Leandries from Leyan. REll perfectly played. The only thing you can say is if he wants the dragon or not, but he just wants blood and kills Leyan on the 4th shot.
Whew. That was a chaotic fight one more time. JDG, they get the first pick and you're like, that's it, it's won. But Kanavi's diving too deep again. I feel like this is what we're talking about, Kanavi being the carry jungler for his team. Right here, he's looking to be the setup, but he's walking too far forward. JDG are now starting the barrel with Photic, 17 seconds still out.
Leyan's still dead for another 10 seconds as well.
So late, right? At the back end of that dragon fight, so this will be barren for JDG.
Knows as well.
Yeah, there's no way to actually contest this. They're going to try and push out the bottom side wave, get a little bit of vision down there. Maybe look for a pick, hope on the reset they can find something, but this is how it all kicked off for that Dragon. Photic just in a bit of an awkward position in this choke. Missing punishes, doesn't have to flash out, but does blow the cleanse. In the middle of it all though, Zhuo doesn't have any follow-up off the back of his engage.
But this is the perfect fight, and the Kanavi overextends to try and reach the backline. And again, if you break formation, REll cannot do his job.
Yeah, and you saw there Yagao, he actually lucked out a bit. Leyan messed up the combo. He could have stunned him up in front of everybody, and that could have been an easy chase down kill for NIP. Rookie unable to find that chase down, afraid perhaps of the curtain call. Photic and Leyan able to dodge out away from it, but then REll just walks up menacingly. And again, you wonder whether or not he could have taken the dragon over killing Leyan. Maybe, you know, just thinking if he kills Leyan, then he can get the dragon, but the smite still comes down, and then this 1v1, incredible. Burning to the damage, the fleet auto attack, I am almost certain keeps him alive.
I think you're absolutely right there. And REll once again finds these clutch moments on the Jhin. You don't think of Jhin as the typical big carry in these games, but what I will say, JDG, they have hung on in this game. The early game looks so bad, but these fights...
Guys.
Oh, Photic. Okay. Oh! Solar Flare even committed. I was going to block any follow-up.
Yo.
Damn, that hurts.
So, Freak Froxen, if you're listening, I think we might need to look at Jhin, guys. Love you both.
How are you saying that? Every analyst I've ever talked to tells me how much of a bait pick Jhin is. He finally has a good game and you're like, balanced team, destroy him!
Did you just see 4th shot take Photic from 75% HP to 15? Because I did.
As a Jhin player, I think that's perfectly acceptable. REll, no cleanse available! What an engage from Zhuo! He takes down both carries, and Rookie can skate his way to victory. Kanavi found after all of that fighting tooth and nail for JDG. Unfortunately, that might just be the end of the story.
Photic's arrow finds REll, and everybody bunches up to protect the king, but frankly, it just sets up for Zhuo to find a 3-man ultimate and NIP to follow up on that, and with just Flandre alive, this should be game 1.
One Demacian man left alive to defend 2 towers, and the Nexus is going in! And he's gone!
He got the wave.
It's true to any Garn experience I've seen before. The wave's gone though, you're absolutely right. It's actually heroic.
Now this
is it enough though with the grubs in play as well? I think they might just defend. Missing with the orbital cannon. It's not gonna be enough. And if Photic doesn't put ADC diff in the chat, he's not a true AD carry.
I mean, man, REll showed up as well. This is crazy. We expected different carries coming through from JDG. We expected Kanavi with Yagao and REll stepping up, trying to bring back the game, but NIP came in with a plan. I named them the best macro in the LPL on a good day. They showed that in spring. What did they do here? They lane swapped to take advantage of the map, and they did. They got Rookie fed, and then ever since, it's been smooth sailing-ish.
You know,
Majority.
I'll agree with you, Georgia. As an NIP fan, on their day of door, they are definitely the best at everything. anything. But no, this was a fantastic first game, right? I think down from the Photic arrows, the follow-up, the general rotations around the map, and just kind of suffocating JDG out throughout a lot of these games and ensuring, yeah, again, that it felt like unless NIP gave them the opportunity, JDG didn't really have much in the means of looking for fights proactively because it was always just outrange from the arrow and then the follow-up on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, felt a tough win for NIP. You know, with how the game started, it felt like maybe that could have been a little bit easier than it ended up being. But, I mean, the arrow of destiny in the end from Photic, after a couple of missed positions earlier on in the game, redeems himself in the final moment. I'm sure JDG are not done just yet, though. We're going to jump into a break. Then we'll head to our analyst to break.